Before we start talking Dhamma, we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. So today we are going to start the first part of purifications. This is a Sila Visuddhi in Pali. Then we also call in English the morality purification. So we have already started before. We have partially explained about morality in our previous Dhamma talk. But today we will start totally very beginning of Sila Visuddhi. Then we also have known that the morality is the state of beginning with the volition present in one who abstains from wrong actions and fulfill his duties. So that means when we have special minds or willingness to practice, especially to abstain and to fulfill our duties, then there will be morality. If we summarize, there are only 2 types of morality. The first one is to abstain from, or the second one is to fulfill. So whenever we talk about the ultimate materialities or mentalities, we have to talk about the characteristics, the function, the manifestation, and the proximate cause. So what's the functions of the characteristics of Sila, the morality? Here we have the Pali words, Kusalanam, Dhammanam, Patithana Lakhanam, Sila. The characteristics of Sila is the foundations of profitable states. We can also understand another way, is the foundations of wholesome states. So when we have morality, it becomes very strong foundations to accumulate wholesome deeds. For example, when we are going to do dana, you may have known many stories or many discourses given by the Buddha. If both parties, donors and receivers, are moral, the benefit of charity, the dana, is greater. So now, when we are moral, when we are going to do dana also, it will be great dana. If we are going to meditate also, we can be successful because of pure morality. That is why Sila, the morality, is the foundations of profitable states or wholesome states. The next one is the function of Sila. In Pali, we call rasa. So there are 2 types of rasa. So the first one is Kija rasa. Kija means the duty or performance. Another one is fruits, phala. Phala also rasa. Actually, we also say like Kija rasa like that. Now we have another one, Sampati rasa. That is called achievement of the goal. So by observing Sila, what we can achieve, that's called rasa. what Sila apart from, this is also called rasa. Here, when we talk about Sila, we are mentioned two different things. The functions of morality is stopping misconduct. This is a function. The achievement is the quality of blameless. When we can observe the precepts very well, then we cannot be blamed by wise people and good people. That's called sampati, blameless, achievement. Then again, the manifestation. So we also have different types of manifestations here. So the way it presents or the way it is understood is called manifestation. Another one is the fruit or the effect that is conditioned by their respective causes, is also called Pachupatthana. So again, here we have to talk about the manifestation. The manifestation of morality is bodily, bhava, and mental purity. It will appear in your minds. That's the morality can purify your body, bhava, and mental actions. Then the prosemic cause we call Vatatthana. The prosemic cause is moral shames and moral dread. Now we have to know that moral shame and moral dread are essential everywhere to be a real human being. So if we say another way, when we are going to do something bad or something wrong, when we have hesitation, unwillingness, that's the power of moral shame and moral dread. Sometimes we can remember our quality, our ability, or maybe our knowledge, or standards, or classes, lineage, by reflecting or by knowing our own value, we can have moral shame and moral dread. So when we have moral shame and moral dread, we can be moral. We can observe morality very well. That is the characteristics, the function, the manifestation, and the prosemic cause of Sila, the morality. Then people also talk about the benefit. What would be the benefit of morality? The benefit of morality is non-remorse. So that means if we can practice very well, we will not feel remorse or regrets. We will not regret. So that is the power of Sila. Then actually we can also find some explanations in Digha Nikaya. Although I say Digha Nikaya because it's very easier for learners, that's why I just talk about Digha Nikaya. Actually, we can also find in many other Nikayas. So there, the Buddha mentioned 5 benefits of morality. When you go and read Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the discourse on entering into Parinibbana, Buddha's Parinibbana. There, the Buddha mentioned 5 types of benefits. He mentioned 1, he can obtain a large fortune as a consequence of diligence. This is the first things he mentioned. So not only that, we can also have another quality, that is good reputation is spread abroad. So then if we are moral, we may have good reputation. If we are immoral, we may have ill reputation. It will be 2 different situations. Then again, 3, he enters any assemblies without fear. So that means he can enter any assemblies with confidence, if we say another way. Sometimes when we are going to approach very moral environments, then if we feel shame or hesitations, then our morality is not that powerful. When our morality becomes very powerful, we can enter any assemblies, any groups, or any society or any organizations without fear or with confidence. So all these things can be achieved in this very life. We don't need to wait until our death moment. Then the 4th one is, he died unconfused. So in our environments, we can find many people, they pass away terribly, screaming very loudly, or sometimes their bodies are trembling very terribly. But when we have morality, we can die unconfused. That means we can pass away mindfully. We don't have to suffer too much. That is the thing we have to achieve. We can achieve in this very life. The last one is, he can be reborn in a good destination after death. So this is after death. In this very life, we may have 4 benefits. After death, we may have only 1 benefit. So this is the benefit of Sila. Then again, we also have another part, the meaning of Sila. So there are many, many definitions of Sila. Then the first one is Silana. Silana means, here we have translations, compulsion. It's not very clear, that's why we have another one, Samadhana, coordinating. The Upadharana, upholding. This is the meaning of Sila. So, how can we know that it's upholding? In reality, it will uphold all the wholesome things. It will coordinate with wholesome things. It will compose all wholesome things. Then we have another one, Sila. Sila means the head. So what does it mean, the head? If we talk about the head, and you have already known the head. If we are beheaded, we cannot live anymore. Similarly, if there is no morality, we are livingly dead. So we are livingly dead person. That is why Sila is like a head. The head of people, Sila is also the head of all other qualities and virtues. Then we have another one, Sitala, cool. Could mean peace or subsiding the defilements. Even last week, we have already talked about it. We can substitute good things for bad things. This cause, or we can also subside the defilements by the power of Sila. And we can feel peacefulness. This is called Sitala. Then Sala, God. God means here protecting a person from unwholesome states. The one is a little easier to understand. Then Supa, sleeps. So sleeping. Here sleep doesn't mean drowsiness or anything. Here sleep just means causing the wrong actions to fade away. So by the power of Sila, all the wrong actions will fade away. or despair. That's the meaning of Sila. Then Sala, pavilion. So when we talk about pavilion in the Western country or in other country, we cannot find pavilion easily. But in Myanmar, we have many pavilions, especially in the pagoda, or sometimes in the entrance gate of the village. So pavilion is a special place for the visitors or guests who does not have friends in the society, in the village, or in the city. Then they can spend their time in the pavilion. They can sleep there. They can cook there like this. So here, Sala means pavilion. So everybody can enter into the pavilion. Similarly, Sila is the morality is the entrance of all kinds of wholesome states. That's the meaning of Sila. Then we also talk about the restraints. So when we talk about Sila, we also have to talk about restraints. We had many different types of restraints. Next one. So altogether, we have 5 types of restraints. Restraint by Patisambhidamagga. As a bhikkhu, we have to study Bhikkhu Patisambhidamagga. We have to follow Patisambhidamagga rules. This is restraint by Patisambhidamagga. As lay devotees, you have to observe 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 9 precepts, 10 precepts. All the precepts can be considered as Patisambhidamagga restraints. The restraint by mindfulness, restraint by wisdom, restraint by patience, and restraint by energy. So here, one more thing we have to know. The following Patisambhidamagga rules is the restraint by Patisambhidamagga. So sometimes we may make mistakes. If we have made some mistakes, we have to confess or we have to amend ourselves. By confession or by amendment, we can practice Patisambhidamagga rules. This is the first one. Second one is Sati Samvara, restrained by mindfulness. So guarding sense doors. We also call it Indriya Samvara Sila, guarding sense doors, protecting sense doors. Later, we have to explain all these things in detail. It also mentioned in Visuddhimagga. Another one is restrained by wisdom. So protecting oneself from the defilements is the restraint by wisdom. So here, one more thing we have to know in our daily life, when we are using 4 requisites, we have to reflect the purpose of using it. So reflecting the purpose of using the 4 requisites is also called the restraint by wisdom. The another one is restraint by patience. Enduring heat, cold, insect bite, and so on is called restraint by patience. That's metaphysical, no hatred. Yeah, if we are angry, or if we have very strong hatred, we cannot be patient. We are impatient, and we cannot trade very well. So in our meditation or in our daily life, if we have very strong endurance, although we have to encounter many difficulties, if we can patient very well, then we can be successful easily or easier than other people. Of course, we all have known that patience is not that easy to practice. When we can practice well, the patience is really, really very valuable for our community and for our own benefit. Then again, the last one, restrained by energy. a certain energy to overcome wholesome thoughts and so on is the restraint by energy. It's also called pure livelihoods. But here we have to talk about viriya. Later, when we talk about 7 enlightenment factors, I have to talk about energy or viriya. Also, I have to explain about viriya when I'm going to talk in the chapter of mental factors. So there I will explain a little more in detail. So today I just list out the meaning of restraints, or when we talk about restraints, how many things cover what they mean. So again, in the Visuddhimagga, they are mentioned many stanzas. So the first stanza here mentioned, in this Buddha's dispensation, the morality is foot of the clansman. Nobody can completely tell the limitless benefits of morality. So previously, the Buddha talked about legs. Now here mentioned head. Previously, the Buddha talked about head. If we don't have head, we are dead. Now here, the Buddha talk about the foot. Actually, we can also understand another way. It is dependent. It is also reliance. So we can survive or we can live depending on morality. We can also say powerful dependence, right? Then the benefit, although I have to talk about 5 benefits, actually there are many benefits. Okay, let alone all the 5 precepts. We just talk about only 1 precept. For example, not killing any living beings. So there will be many other problems with the killing. For example, if we kill a human being, this is a crime. According to criminal law, there will be some punishment. So if we abstain from killing animals or killing living beings, we will not have this kind of problem. Not only that, if we don't kill, then our metta become powerful. Okay, practically, and many of you have been to Paudroya, right? In Paudroya, we have many wild chicken. In the forest, they naturally grow up there, they naturally live there. Similarly, in our society, now I live in Sila, around this area, we can also find similar things. You know, when they saw people, they will run away. Maybe if we stand around with 12 cubits, sometimes it will be farther than that. Then if we approach them, they will run away. In Paudroya, they are very close to the bhikkhus because we don't kill. They know that we have metta. We have a kindness to them. We don't need to show. By not killing, they can understand. Similarly, you may also have known many boards in Paudroya. You may have never heard any bhikkhu was attacked by boars. For me, fine pig, right? Now you may also have seen many snakes in Paudroya. And then you may have never heard that bhikkhu is bitten by a snake. So that's unusual. Because of loving kindness, they don't harm us, we don't harm them. So the main thing is we may have a stronger relationship with living beings. This is the only one thing I mentioned about the benefits. Actually, there are many, many other benefits in our community. Okay, so now the Buddha also say another one. Sorry. The Buddha also say another one in the stanza. The water from big river cannot wash out stains of defilements in the living them, but the morality can wash stain of defilements of living beings. So you have already know that we have a lot of river in the world. We can wash our clothes, we can wash our body, but we're going to wash defilements. But here, the morality can purify or can wash away all the all the defilements. Then we also have to know that, we got another one. Neither rains brought by the wind, nor yellow sandalwood, nor ruby, nor moonlight can make the heat of defilements cold, but morality can make the heat of defilements cold. So we have to understand this one again. When we have good morality, we can make our mind cool, or we can also make our environment better. So as you have known that morality is so morality make mind calm and peaceful. Similarly, morality also can make defilements cool down, subsided. As we have talked about it last week, by the power of Sila, we can also have, right, good in the very beginning, and so on. We can also subside some defilements, especially here mentioned substitution. Then again, we have another one. There is no other fragrance like morality. The fragrance of the fragrance of morality can go upwards and downwards. Mostly, if we use some flower or perfume, it will just go downwind. It does not go upwind. But when we can observe the precepts, it can go anywhere, upwind, downwind, or anywhere in the world. For example, the Vajra virtues. Everybody comes to know, including Devas or Brahmas. This is the fragrance of morality. Now we have another simile mentioned here. Morality is staircase to the heaven. Morality is also the entrance door to Nibbana. So you have already know the staircase. If we have staircase, we can go up easily. If we don't have staircase, we cannot go up easily. They are mentioned to the heaven. That means to the Devarams. The morality is also entrance door to Nibbana. If we open the door, we can enter. If we close the door, we cannot enter anymore. So we have to open the morality, the door. Then we have the next one. The one is amends adorned with morality is far superior than the king adorned with jewelry. That was very clear. I don't need to explain. Then again, the last one. A virtuous man destroying subliming brings gladness and fame. That is it, the last part of explanation. So here we have to understand destroying subliming. It has mentioned only one thing here. In reality, we can also destroy blame by other people, especially blame by wise people. So if nobody complain or nobody blame us, we can feel happiness. We may have good reputation. That's the nature of human existence. So these stanzas are mentioned in Visuddhimagga. That's why I just copy and paste. Then here we have to start with dukkha, diet. When we talk about Sila, even in the very beginning of this talk, I have already explained. We have two types of Sila. The first one is to perform. Second one is to abstain. Here in Pali, we have charita, keeping, or practicing or fulfilling duties as guided by the Buddha. So to fulfill or to practice, we need confidence. We also need energy. Especially, we must have mental energy, mind powers. We must have faith in Buddha's teaching. We must have confidence with ourselves. So if we have confidence and energy, we can also fulfill the duties. We can also practice Sila. But one more thing here. Many people also misunderstand. If we just observe the precepts, that means avoiding or abstaining, then we are good people. People think like that. In reality, to be a good person, we need two things. The first one is charita. Today, we are talking about this one. Practicing or fulfilling our duties. If we don't take care of our duty, we cannot say we are a good person, although we avoid many different wrong things. Second one is Varita Sila, avoiding, that means abstaining from wrongdoings, as prohibited by the Buddha. So that one, you have already know the 5 precepts. We have to avoid 5 precepts. Then they are mentioned, one who endowed with confidence and mindfulness can abstain from wrongdoing. And that means we can also observe the precepts. Okay, now 5 precepts. Today we will start 5 precepts. So Panati Pada. I have to explain the Pali word first. Pana and Atipada, 2 words. Pana means living beings. Ati means quickly, Pada means falling. So it falling very quickly. That means it dying very quickly. If we just live normally, if nobody kills, he can live long time. Because of somebody's actions, he passes away faster than other living beings. That's called killing. So Banami, living beings, Atipadami, falling very quickly. Then we have to know how many ways of killing. Sometimes the Buddha teachings are a little bit different from criminal laws. Okay, now again, we have to introduce the first part. There are 6 means. The 6 ways to kill an animals or a living beings. The first one is sahatiko, one's own person. That means we ourselves kill living beings. If we kill, living beings, this is called, if we also kill living beings, this is called sahatika. This is the first part we have to know. Second one is anatika, command or order. Sometimes we command somebody to kill for us. That is called anatika. Now the next one is nisakiya, a missile. That when we throw with stone or stick or we will shoot with the guns or arrow or something. Nisakiya. Then the fourth one is tawara, a physical contrivance. So that means we may set a trap. We may put a trap on the walking path. If some animal step on it, they will die or they have to suffer. This is also called tawara. Another one is just like digging the hole. And also, then they will also put some like a sharp instrument, like a sharp wood or sharp bamboo inside the hole. If somebody fall down, they will die. This is also called tawara. Then another one is Visuddhimagga, a magical spell. So a magical spell is, according to law, is not offense, no wordiness. But according to Buddha's teaching, magical spell is also killing living beings, panadipata. The last one is actually 80 mayo here, supernormal power. Many people can misunderstand that one. It doesn't mean psychic power. So here we talk about karma vibhagga jeti. Karma vibhagga jeti means karmic power. There are some special people. Since they were born, they have special mind power. If their mind inclined, it happens naturally. This is called ejimaya. So he or she may have this kind of power, then his mind inclined to it to kill somebody, to kill some other animals or anything, any living beings. This is called ejimaya. So by the power of psychic power, like Ijivita Abhinyana, we cannot kill any living beings. If we kill, we will get lost, everything. Then these are the 5 things we have to know. One more thing here. When we are going to kill, even we say very simply panadipata, but there are some other additional things. Here I didn't write down all these things. Here I mention we ourselves kill or we command or order other people. These two are very clear. Sometimes we just agree. In modern community, we sign it. This is also called agreement. We agree somebody to kill somebody. That's called. This is also one of the things. Now, another one is that we may praise somebody who was killed or some living beings are killed. So we ourselves, we command or we agree or we praise. Then all these are considered as killing. There will be different types of unwholesome quality, different quality of unwholesome, karmic force, karmic power, but they are unwholesome, sure, very clear. Now, one more thing here about tawara, a physical contrivance. There we have to understand one more thing. In modern community, in the YouTube or in the Facebooks, they will write down how to kill, right? How to kill living beings, how to kill animals or something like that. How to hunt, for example. They will post glorify or they write articles, something like that. As long as we don't remove all these things from there, our page or our channel, we are instructing other people how to kill, right? Sometimes they give instruction, demonstration, something like that. So we have to consider all these things also. If we don't kill any living beings, or if we don't teach anybody to kill living beings, much better. More purifications of Sila. As ordinary people, from time to time, we may break precepts. It's just normal for everybody. If we can observe precept very well, so it will be more beneficial for our environment, more beneficial for ourselves. Then how can we know that we have committed killing or paranipata? We have next part, right? No. There are 5 fetters for acts of killing living beings. For the act of killing living beings, they are no, a living being. It must be a living being. Sometimes we think, right? We're cutting tree, for example. Some people also think tree is also life. A tree is not life. Plant also not life. They don't have any life faculties. But Asian culture, especially in Asian Indian culture, they also believe that there's a one life faculty in the tree or plant. Anyway, the main thing is it must be a living being. 2. Pana Sanita, awareness that is a living being. That means we have the perceptions of living being. Sometimes on the way, we may find a snake, but we don't think it's a snake. We just think, oh, it is a tire, maybe motorbike tire, or bicycle tire, piece of tire, or maybe a piece of cloth. We step on it, the snake dies, for example. Since we don't have the perceptions of living beings, it's not killing. If we know, or if we have perceptions of living beings, then we are killing. Then 3, Vadaka Chitta, the mind to kill. You can also say the intention to kill. In this case, we have to know many other cases. For example, sometimes we try to have for example, like sometimes some insects are in the washing place, in the sink. We're trying to have them. They are crawling, right? We're trying to have them. But they are too soft that they pass away, they die because of our action. Our intention is to have them, but they die. So we don't have Vadaka Chitta, the intention to kill. That's why it's not killing. If we have bad intention, just trying to kill them, we try to touch, or we may smash it or something like that, then it will be Panadipada. Then the 4 is Upakamo, activity. According to previous 6, there are 6 ways to kill, right? For example, if we command other people, it can be by words, or by writing also possible. It's also called activity. If we ourselves kill, we may use our bodily actions to kill. This is also called activity. But mentally, if we have like a magical power or like a supernormal power, even in our mind, if we just think about somebody, or we just want to kill the people, that person, then that's called activity, mental activity. Then 5, the death of the living being. Because of our actions, the living being die. So there are 5 factors. Living being, having perceptions of living beings, the intention to kill, we make actions, the living being die. If we have these 5 fetters, if we have already accomplished these 5 fetters, then we have already committed Paranipada. We break the precepts. So that is the parts we have to know about killing. Then from time to time, you will also ask, what about heavy karma or light karma? We have many different types of karma, right? Then here mentioned Guna Mahandata, having great quality. That is one thing. For example, killing the Buddha, although it's impossible, right? Impossible to kill the Buddha. But if we try to assassinate the Buddha, it becomes heavier. Then similarly, killing an arhat is a mighty karma. Killing parents is a mighty karma. Because we have only father and mother for everybody. We don't have any spare parents. We may have many, many friends, but we have only one father and one mother. So the main thing is, if we kill our own parents, it is also mighty karma. That's called about quality. Similarly, we can also say the virtues. Then the next one is Payoka Mahandata, making great efforts. Payoka means the efforts. We have to make stronger actions. So in this case, we have to know that there will be different types of animals. For example, a mosquito and an elephant. Although they are living beings, but we have to make different actions. If we are going to kill a mosquito, we can use our palms to strike. Although we don't use our palm, just use 2 fingers, it also can die. We have to make very little actions, very little efforts to kill a mosquito. But when we are going to kill a very big animal like an elephant, we have to make stronger actions. We have to prepare well. Okay, can you hear?
Yes,
Hello?
Bande. Yes, Yaro, we can hear you. But we cannot hear the translator, Bande. Chinese. Okay. 听得到了，尊者。
Okay. So we have to make different efforts. When we are going to kill an elephant, we have to prepare. We have to use special gun, special bullets, special place to hide, or with special points to wait. There are many, many preparations before killing. When we are going to kill a mosquito, we don't need to prepare. One strike, finish. That's why, although we kill the same number of living beings, because of our efforts, here we can also say mind power and body power. We have to use too much mind power to kill. We have to use too much body efforts, body energy to kill. That makes the karma stronger. Another one is a kilesa devadaya, having strong defilements. So here deva means strong or powerful defilements. When we have very little defilements, for example, hatred to kill. If we have very little hatred, we will not make very serious mistakes or very strong karma. If we have very strong hatred, it will be very strong karma. For example, Venerable Devadatta and the Buddha. Venerable Devadatta hated the Buddha. Then all the time he was thinking about the Buddha. He just think about the Buddha, how to kill, how to disturb, how to destroy. Then he also make actions, as you have known. He just sets Nalagiri free to attack the Buddha. He also sends archers to kill the Buddha. He also used stones, rolling down from the Bocha peak. He made many serious mistakes. In his mind, always think about the Buddha with hatred. When hatred becomes very strong, you have already known in our previous Dhamma talk, when defining becomes very strong, it comes as actions. So you can imagine how strong his defilements. It comes as actions. So because of kilesa, right, it becomes powerful, unwholesome mind, unwholesome karma. Okay, the main thing is here, we have guna mahanda, having great quality, yoga mahanda, making great efforts, and kilesa tiva, having strong defilements. According to all these situations, the karma become powerful. There will be different types of karma. Then we have to use today's model precepts, Adina Dana. So here I have to introduce the Pali words. Adina and Adana, two Pali words together. Adina means ungiven. Adana means taken. So taken, ungiven, or taken what is not given. That's called Adina Dana. So there are also 6 means of stealing as mentioned in killing. So you have already know, we ourselves kill, or here we ourselves steal other people's living beings, other people's properties. We may order or command other people to steal. Then we also like a throwaway, destroying, right? We also destroying by throwing with the stone or stick or something like that. For example, like they may have wine on a clay pot, for example. If we throw a stone at the clay pots, it will break into pieces, then all the wine will flow. Throwing, right? Similarly, tawara. In the sense of tawara, if we just make a hole of the pot, then it will leak gradually, the pot will be empty. Or sometimes we will destroy it by using different chemical. It will be later, all one will be unusable. Nobody can use anymore. This is also called tawara. Similarly, Vijamaya, magic spell, Itimaya, supernatural power. That one is not for ordinary people. They will be only for special people. Okay, now we are going to talk about stealing. Here we have 5 means of stealing. Tiyavahara, taken by theft. The one is a very simple. I think everybody know this kind of stealing, right? Then again, we have the next one, Pasasha Waharo, taken by force. So by showing guns, if you don't give, I will shoot, for example, by force. Sometimes, like physical abuse, by physical abuse, then they will take other people's properties when somebody becomes very weak. Also, the same names, Then the next one is Patichanavahara, taken by consummate. Okay, here in this case, you may find some, like a bank cut or something like that. How do they call that one? Bank cut? Okay, I don't know in English, right? Bank cut, okay. Credit card, sorry, credit card, sure. Credit cards. If they found a credit card on the way, or maybe any other cards that's usable, we can use as a currency, for example. When the owner comes back and finds his cards, he can find easily because it's on the road. So some people have bad intention. He may cover it with grass or leaves or something. Only covering, that's also called stealing. He didn't take away, just cover with bad intention. So another one is Purikapavahara, taken by strategy. So that one is just like before we are going to steal, that we may prepare, we may think about something. Okay, I will for example, like in the dark room, there are many things. Then we may have only one thing, right? We wish to get only one thing. For example, like in the room, there's also the credit cards, there's also money, notes. Then there are also some other valuable books, valuable like a document, for example. He just wants to catch only the credit cards, for example. In his mind, he just thinks only credit cards. He enters the dark room. He trying to touch every single thing. He thought this is ID card, so he take. There's a special preparation, right? Then again, if it's the truth, it's also stealing. But by mistakes, he just take his other people's ID cards, no credit cards, thinking it is a credit card, right? Then at the time, he was not yet steal other people, not yet stealing other people's properties. So Purikapavahara, this also common in modern community. It can be many other ways of stealing. Then, okay, now we have the last one, Kusavahara, taken by frauds. So here we can also like identity theft maybe, right? Identity theft. So Kusavahara means changing the name or something like that. In modern community, we may have bank accounts for the bank changing the name, they take away, for example. That also can be considered as a Kusavahara. So all these things are mentioned in Visuddhimagga, just for easier understanding. But in our Vinaya, especially in Kankawudani commentary, it mentioned 25 types of stealing. Too much, right? So anyway, the main thing is, if we have bad intentions, or if we try to just find other people's properties, we must consider. Mostly when we talk about adina dana, people think it's only stealing, but not only stealing, it's also taken by force, destroying other people's property intentionally. All the things can be considered as stealing, adina dana. So there are 5 factors for the act of stealing. Parabrikaha, other person's possession. Parabrikaha sanyi, Brahita Sanyi, awareness that is another person's possession. So then we having perceptions of other people's properties. Then we have Teya Chitta, the mind to steal. That means the intention to steal. Ubakama, that is activities or making efforts, making actions. Then we have another one, Harana, taking the objects. He will take the object, or he will hide, or he will concede, or he will destroy it. All these can be considered as taking objects. So there are 5 factors to accomplish these precepts, these actions. So the first one is other people's property. If no owner, it does not belong to anybody, like the leaves beside the road, fruits beside the road, for example, no owner. If we take it, we cannot say it's a stealing. Sometimes we don't think there's an owner. We don't think it's just like a rubbish or something like that, right? For example, beside the roads, we may have seen some mango fruits. We don't think there's an owner. Then we just pick up and eat, for example. Since we don't have the perceptions of other people's belonging, it's not stealing. Another one is the intention to kill. This one is very important everywhere, especially in the case of morality. When we have intention to break the precepts, then this is really breaking. Now, one more thing here. If we have a doubt, if we suspect, we should not do that one. If we do purposely, although we have doubts, this also not good habit. Also, it will make the morality weakened. Okay, so now, when we talk about 5 precepts, actually there are many other things we also have to say. But today, I just prepare only for Adinadana. There will be Kamisumishachara. There are also Musawara and Suramiriya. So next week, I have to use all these things. Okay, now, today is a little bit short. Anyway, now many people request me to explain India Samvara Sila and many other things in detail. Actually, in the Visuddhimagga, it mentioned already. One is in that chapter. For example, we talk about India Samvara Sila. It will mention later, not now. But for about Purification Sila, for example, like a reflection, 4 opposites, it will mention in Sila chapter. Human livelihoods, it will mention in Sila chapter. So I have to explain all these things in detail. Okay, so now when we are going to observe the precepts, we have to know is it really offense or not. Then we have to check all the factors in our actions. For example, when we are going to kill, if we suspect with the killing, then we have to check ourselves, is it really killing or not, with the 5 factors. Similarly, if we are going to, if we suspect about our moral precepts about stealing, then we have to check all the factors, all the ways of stealing. After that, if we make mistakes, we have to determine that we will not make the same mistakes anymore. If we don't have made any mistakes, we can live peacefully. Then we can also improve ourselves. Anyway, the main thing is we must have a willingness to observe the precepts. We must have a willingness to follow the rules and regulations. We must have a willingness to abstain from wrongdoings. We must have a willingness to perform or to fulfill our duties. That is the way of our life. When we can abstain or when we can fulfill our duties, we become variable. As the Buddha said, limitless benefits. Now here we can also say, our value will be limitless. We cannot limit our value. Similarly, if our Sila is pure, the value of Sila is also limitless. We value ourselves with our own quality. Similarly, all other people also value us with our own qualities, as they have understood. So, anyway, when we are going to practice Sila, we must do it respectfully. We must follow Buddha's law. That in order to fulfill the parami, we must have good minds, kindness or compassion toward living beings. If we have compassion toward living beings, if we know how to observe precept very well, that means we are fulfilling Sila Parami. May you all be able to fulfill Sila Parami and other Paramis. And may you all be able to realize Nibbana and no suffering, everlasting peace. Sadhu, sadhu.
Dear Sayadaw, can a person born with only two hetu, non-greed and non-aversion, without wisdom, attain excess concentration in this very life?
Yeah, sure. You can attain excess concentration. You can also practice Vipassana. It's possible. Okay.
The next question. If one can't attain Magga and Phala in this life, which sensual Deva realm should one choose to reborn to have the best chance of practicing Dharma? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So, if you're going to attain Magga and Phala, it will be better for you to choose Brahma worlds first, right? If you're going to be born in the Brahma worlds, you can choose Deva realms. So actually, without practicing Dhamma in this human realms, if we are born in the Deva realms, it's almost impossible to continue practicing. But if we have already practiced in this very life, then we have to be reborn in the future life in the Deva realms. It's possible. So it can be any Deva realms. Like many people say, Tusita realms, right? It's easier and better, they say. Okay.
If a meditator, while practicing dependent origination, experienced the insight of anatta, then entered into a kind of deep absorption similar to fourth jhana, but the object does not have any more four elements, can it be the Nibbana object? Afterwards, he can easily enter this kind of emptiness absorption the more he practices Vipassana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, yeah, the one started with the dependent origination, right? Practicing dependent origination.
Yes.
Then he experienced, right? Experience of anatta. Actually, anatta is many, many minutes. Actually, when our insight knowledge becomes very mature and very powerful, although we do only anatta, we can also see anicca, dukkha at the same time, like this. When insight knowledge becomes very mature, then here it just mentioned, right? Doesn't have any of four elements. So then we not having four elements doesn't mean Nibbana. Although we don't have four elements, but if we have other subjects, other materialities, then this is not Nibbana yet. If there's a cessation, if we can know and experience the cessations of Nama-rupas, then we can say this is Nibbana. Okay?
Nami Sayadaw, this question is stated 3.1. Actually, it's a very long question. with many facts, but the question is very short. He says, according to the quotation from Mahanidana Sutta, the Atthakatha of Mahanidana Sutta, he would like to ask one question regarding this Arhata Magga. Arhata Magga, Aryabugala, they are the Sekha. They are still Sekha. That means they have only attained the Arhata Magga before, not yet attained the Arhata Magga. Arhata Phala. That means these type of beings, they have only attained Arhata Magga, but not yet Arhata Phala. So this information not mentioned in Abhidhamma. So this is the first part of his question, and he quote a long quotation. Next slide, please.
Okay, next slide.
He quotes this Atthakatha. This is from Mahanidana Sutta Atthakatha. He talk about the Atta Vimokha. From Atta Vimokha, it says that
Vimokha. Okay.
He says that there is this Ekasa Bhikkhuno. When he checked this Ekasa Bhikkhuno, it mentioned there are 7 types of Aryabugala, and these 7 types is from Sotapatti Phala until Arhata Magga only. 6 type of person, and for Arhata, and this 6 type of person is Upato Bhagga, Vimutto, Panya Vimutto, Kayasaki, Titipato, Sata Vimutto, Dhammanusari, and Satanusari. So all these are the information she got, and the main question she would like to ask is that true that Arhata Magga Aryabugala, this type of person really exists? And why is it not mentioned in Abhidhamma?
Actually, if we talk about 8 noble persons, Visuddhimagga, Visuddhiphala. Okay, so Sakaramimagga, Sakaramiphala, Nagamimagga, Nagamiphala, Adamagga, Adaphala. We have we have 8 types of noble persons altogether. In reality, the moment of Magga is very short, only 1 mind moment. There is also a person at the time. That is why we just use, right? Sodapati Palacha, Sodapati Magata, something like that. Sakarami Magata, Sakarami Palacha, something like that. So the main thing is, actually, these two in Sutta and Abhidhamma are actually the same. The moment, for example, when you are in the school, when learning, although you study only 1 day, you are students. Right? You have been a student. Similarly, he may be only 1 single mind moment as Sodapati Magga, Sakadagami Magga, Anagami Magga, Hada Magga. That moment is called person. He is the person. That is why actually after Hada Magga, Hada flower arrives immediately without any entire mind moment. Okay, so
yes, Seattle. This is another question following the previous class. In the previous class, Seattle mentioned about the Sotapattimagga have already destroyed 3 gross factor. That is I think it's Vichatithi, Sakayatithi, and Sila Paramasa. So she asked, why is there not Vichikicha?
Why is there?
No Vichikicha included. Vichikicha also should be destroyed during Sotapattimagga.
Oh, sure. It must be Vichikicha, sure. It must be Vichikicha, sure. So Vichikicha is, Vichikicha is not that. Vichikicha is not that much problem for morality. For example, if we have doubts, sometimes it will be some problem. Sure. Vichikicha is not that powerful. Right? That's why it doesn't mention there. In religious, as you say, Visuddhimagga, Sakaramagga is already eradicated. Vijikiccha, sure. Okay. Next one.
Yes, yeah. Vanamisiado, another part of this question is regarding the for Arhata, they have destroyed the moha. So this moha also same as avijja.
Yes, same as avijja, sure. Okay. Next one.
So the next question, Pandami Sayadaw, sati, mindfulness, and sampajana, clear comprehension, is that the same or different? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. These two are different. So mindfulness is, we can also say sometimes awareness or something like that, right? Anyway, mindfulness is just recollecting something. We can also say like that. Sampajana is like similar to wisdom. Clear comprehension like a wisdom. So these two are different, two different mental factors, two different things. Okay. This one.
The next question, dear Sayadaw, if a doctor needs to remove a fetus so as to save the other twin fetus or the mother's life, is it considered breaking the killing precept? Would there be killing karma through, although the intention is good? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so that one will be a little bit difficult to explain because his intention to save, right? So maybe this is also akusala, but not very powerful akusala. You can say like that. Breaking precise, we have to check all the factors. We cannot know his mind, right? Okay.
Dhamisiado, if someone have attains Visuddhimagga and Phala, would she or would he relinquish the belief to other lineage or other sectarian? For example, some very common ceremony for helping those who has passed away to be reborn in better place, or some Dhamma ceremony of other sectarian.
Yeah, sure. Here we have already.
Would he relinquish this type of lifestyle, and also would he relinquish the other sectarian and to change her or his lineage, or to ordain again to follow the Patimokkha rules of a bhikkhu?
Okay, so in this case, we have one thing like, they may not believe in Jita, Sutta, Muddha, Mangala, something like that. Okay, they may not believe in rumor or only popularity. So they may have wisdom to decide right and wrong. That's why if the other sectarian are doing opposite of Buddha's teaching, or maybe something contradictory to Buddha's teaching, they may not follow that kind of things. So there's also one thing mentioned in Anguttara Nikaya. The one is they may not believe in other sectarian or other religions, something like that. So anyway, the main thing is their faith is very powerful and strong. That's why they will not believe in other sectarian. Okay? Any other thing?
Vandamisiado, he says he always hears people says that if someone attains Arahant, Magga and Phala, he must be ordained as a Theravada bhikkhu. And if she is a lady, she can only survive for 1 day. Then she must pass away. So may Sayadaw please explain about this?
Okay, so the main thing is, we cannot know, right? Once Sila attains headship, can live or not, we cannot know exactly now. Right? Anyway, the main thing is the human clothes and the power, the quality of arhats are unworthy. That means arhats are unworthy of human clothes. That's when they must ordain. If they don't ordain, they must pass away. This is the only they have that kind of power. So for about female, we are not sure, right? as Sila, they can live or not, we are not sure. For bhikkhu or for samira, is it sure? They can live. For lay person, if they gain hardship, they can ordain as a samira or as a bhikkhu. They can continue their life. Okay, next one.
And Amisiado, this is she would like to ask about this hiri otapa, moral shame and moral trait. Why are they called the proximate cause of Sila? For example, mindfulness and right comprehension, sati sampajana, they are also very important factors. Why are they not the proximate cause of Sila?
Okay, so for example, like if we are not very shameful to do bad things, actually not only for Sila, actually, the Hirivatapa is also like the quality of human being, because the quality of human being. The Buddha himself said, if we don't have Hirivatapa, the human being will be like animal. We will not respect each other. Right? We will do whatever we like. So, okay, I have to explain successive causes. Respect produce Hirivatapa. Hirivatapa will produce Sila. We can understand like this. So, if we respect ourselves, our own value, if we respect our environment, our family, our friends, or maybe our knowledge, something like that, then we were trying to make ourselves better. Thus, a moral shame and moral fear come from respect, embodied karawa. Then, if we have moral fear and moral shame, here the mention, the Pali word is moral fear and moral shame. It's concerned with morality already, right? So, shameless to do bad things. Fears to do bad things. Then, if we have fear, we will not do it. Then we become moral. That's why they are proximate cause. Then mindfulness is also the cause, but it's not proximate cause. It's just normal cause. Okay, so that means ordinary cause and proximate cause will be different. Okay, next one.
Okay, next question. Dear Sayadaw, what is restraint by wisdom for a lay person? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, for lay person also, when we are going to eat, then we may reflect the purpose of eating, for example. The main thing is not to have attachment to food, residence, medicine, and then all the things we are using, the clothes also ingredients. If we don't have the attachment to our things, our belonging, this is the main part of restraint by wisdom. So okay, the main thing is, whatever thing you use, you must know the purpose of using it. Then you can have restraint by wisdom. Okay?
Next question. Dear Sayadaw, for restraint by patience, the mental factor is non-hatred. Actually, sometimes when we try to tolerate or try to be patient, but in our mind, we may arise many agitation or anger, even we do not harm others. So how do we understand the non-hatred mentioned here? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So one more thing, because of the Pali word is the problem, right? So, sorry, English word is the problem. Impatience or patience, this is English word, right? Not Pali word. Kanti, okay. When we talk about kanti, that means make mind free. How to make our mind free? So no more hatred, no more pain in our mind. Sometimes we hate somebody, we say, patient, patient, calm down, calm down. So we keep in our mind. This is not really 100% called kanti. Okay, we talk about kanti, make mind free. Everything, hold down everything. Don't crush anything, right? Just throw away all the rubbish in our minds. This is called kanti. So here, no hatred means we don't have any hatred, we don't have any discomfort in our minds. That's called kanti. So what about then we encounter, or what about condition we have? So all we have very bad situations, we don't keep in our minds. Okay, we release our minds. We don't hate anybody. This is called kanti. So if we have a lot of hatred, sometimes I also have many of my disciples, they hate me, Although it takes either many, many years, 4 or 5 years, they recall, they still complain me, That kind of things happen. I'm also surprised why they have that kind of mind. Then finally I also realize why, I also understand why they cannot improve. In meditation also they cannot improve. I can understand why they cannot improve. Because their mind is not free. Always holding, grasping, So anyway, the main thing is, kanti means release your minds, relax your minds, make your mind free from hatred. This is called kanti. If we keep something in our minds, although we hate, we don't make action, That's called, according to our previous talk, you may remember one of the defilements, priyuthana kilesa, that one, okay?
This question regarding Charita Sila. For Charita Sila, someone must practice or to fulfill the duty as instructed by the Buddha. So about this Charita Sila, they also must consider the mundane standard of morality. For example, the loyalty towards each other, and so on. This type of quality should they also consider when fulfilling Charita Sila.
Okay. So when we talk about Charita Sila, it will be very, very deep. As a bhikkhu, we have the, Kanaka, Uhamhawa Kanaka, Julava Kanaka, many, many duties there. All these are called Charita Sila. Then for about lay person, you may have known the one sutras from Diganikaya, Singalawala Sutta or Singala Sutta. There I mentioned the duty of friends, the duty of parents, the duty of children, the duty of teachers, the duty of students, the duty of employees, the duty of employers, something like that. It mentioned very many things in details, especially about the friends. So if we are going to talk about Charita Sila, we have to talk about all these responsibilities and duties. So then we have to fulfill all these, as you say, loyalty. Sure, we need in our relationship, in our community. So not only that, like happen, sharing knowledge, sharing properties, these kind of things. So that means sometimes we may hide good quality for us. We will share only bad quality for other people. That kind of things are not really very good. Okay, the main thing is the Charita Sila is very wide. There are many things to be better. We have to upgrade our knowledge. We have to upgrade our ability. We have to upgrade our communication skill, social skill, and many, many skills, All these things are also called Charita Sila. Okay? Then, this one. Okay?
Next question. Dear Sayadaw, for killing living beings by magical spell, some special person may be able to use some spells to destroy unseen beings. Is this also considered as killing? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so in this case also we have to think about 5 factors. The 5 factors mean, so we cannot know his mind, right? That's why we cannot say exactly how's his mind. Is it like a non-human being, or is it human being, or is it like a living beings or non-living beings? It depends on his mind. So that means unseen beings, it depends on the value of that person. So we have to consider many other cases. Then, okay, the main thing is if they kill real living beings, this is panati pada. Okay, we can understand like this. But we have to check 5 factors anyway. Okay.
So the next question, dear Sayadaw, about the 3 factors that make karma stronger, do they apply to killing only, or do they also apply to other verbal and bodily actions and other precepts?
Okay.
For example, some people may, with a wrong mind and great effort, try to harm others by spreading untrue messages in social media and in communities without considering the quality of the person. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, sure. This also cover everywhere. Not only Bodily, but it also cover all the precepts. You know, we have 3 bodily actions, 4 bhava actions, 3 mental actions, right? But mental actions are okay because it's only mind. Mind is not that much problem with other people. If we speak or if we make bodily actions, it will be very harmful for other people. So these 3 also, sure, includes in every single precepts, every single wrong actions. For example, if we talk about, okay, for example, okay, you may have known, one is a Aryabugala karma, that means accusing or abusing noble person. This is bhava actions. This, if we have accused a noble person with untruth, false or offense, then although we practice whole life, we're going to attain any higher attainment because of the mistake we have done. So if we ask for forgiveness, it's possible to attain jhana or path of first knowledge like that. This is also only for this life, but if very serious, very, very bad, if we cannot attain anything, we can be reborn in the hell. Something like that. Okay, the main thing is, all these 3 things also cover everywhere. Bodily actions, bhava actions. Okay? Yeah? Anyone?
Okay. Next question. Dear Sayadaw, regarding Adina Dana, if we see a book on the table and we just take and read it without asking, is this considered as Adina Dana? Nowadays, there are many Dhamma talks and videos and recordings in the social media. If we just download and edit the content into our own brand without asking, is this also considered Adina Dana? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, it depends on the mind or the intention. Right? If you have good intentions, just to make it clear up, for example, you may edit by yourself or you may cut on some parts. You want to know, for example, right? Just for your personal use. As long as you don't destroy other people's valuable things, I don't think it's stealing. Right? Okay. Another thing is, so YouTube video and some of the YouTube are not easy to download, right? If the copyrights, we cannot download. They have the technological power to prevent from downloading. We have that kind of things, right? Anyway, the main thing is, if we have bad intention, so this is akusala karma. If we have only good intention, only for our own use, our own personal use, then it will be fine. It's not making business, right? Not stealing. So it's also not very harmful for the Dhamma talker. It's also not very harmful for you. It doesn't matter. Okay? Next one.
Next question. Could Sayadaw explain about the 25 types of Adina Dana Sayadaw mentioned during the talk? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Oh. So I have to copy and paste from, right? If I say like this, okay, next week I have to use all the material again. Okay, so later, right? Now we have short time. Okay, next time I will try this one. Next Dhamma Talk. Okay.
Okay. So next question. Dear Sayadaw, nowadays there are many recording devices. If someone secretly record others' discussion without permission, is this also considered as stealing?
Okay, here we have to think about intention. What is intention? So if we have some dishonest, for example, if we are dishonest, to make, if something happened, we were trying to distract that person, something like that, right? And it was our intention. So in any situation, you have to think about situation or the intention. Bad intention, so it will be breaking precepts. Good intention, we cannot say breaking precepts. Sometimes to project your friends, you are a cause, right? Your friends are talking with other people, that person is very bad. To protect your friends, you're a cause. If something happens, you can help your friends, right? Something like this. Okay, you have good intention. So the main thing is that in the sense of morality, we must not favor bad people. We must favor good people. That's the meaning of Sila. If we favor many bad people, our community will be destroyed by bad people, right? So in this case, you have to think about your intention. What's your intention? Then, if your intention is bad, it's really bad karma. Okay.
Okay. Next question. Dear Sayadaw, in law, the judge will decide a person's crime based on a person's intention. In checking our precepts, is this intention or cetana the most important factor to consider? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, when we talk about cetana is also a kind of mind power, right? So intention, okay, when we talk, okay, one more thing here, I have to think about that one. When we are going to talk about Sila, we should not talk about Abhidhamma. Okay, we should forget about Abhidhamma. If we talk about Nama or Rupa or any mental factor, it becomes very complicated. So we should talk about very simple way. Now we have say the factor of killing and stealing, right? Then the main thing is the intention to kill. This is our minds, mental actions. Sometimes we also do bhava actions or bodily actions. But our mental actions are good. Only bhavali, we make something wrong. Bodily, we make something wrong. Then that's not really called breaking precepts. So, okay. The main thing is, in Buddha's teaching, we have 5 factors. For these 5 factors, we check is it a mistake or not. Now we have to talk about 5 factors, right? Not because of only intention. Although we have intention, but not completing 5 factors. Then you cannot say this is a stealing or killing. Okay. Now you can understand, right? The main thing is 5 factors. Check with 5 factors. Okay.
Yeah, Vandami Sayadaw, just how Sayadaw mentioned about one gatha saying that a cleansed man's food to represent Sila. So what does that mean by cleansed man's?
Okay, so let me good
Gula
man.
Putta.
Gula Buddha. Then okay, let me good man. His descendants are very good, right? Good descendants. His like a father, forefather, all are good people, right? This is called clansman, Kula Buddha. So come from good lineage, good culture. This is called clansman. This is also called Kula Buddha. Okay.
Vandami Sayadaw, here Sayadaw about Sangvara. What does that mean by Sangvara? Just now Sayadaw mentioned about the 5 Sangvara. What does that mean by Sangvara? Sila.
Sangvara means restraints. We can do like a projecting or guarding. This is called Sangvara, right? So then we have to control, we have to subside, we have to uproot, something like this. This is also called Sangvara. Okay. Next one.
Vandami Sayadaw, during summer, on the bed there are so many red ants. At night, those ants will bite people and it will be very itchy and affect the meditator and affect the meditation. So if someone not killing, how to do? If he has no choice and if he has this intention to let them leave the bed, with this intention, he used some insecticide to kill. So if he has done this action, how to amend it? This is one question. Second question. Okay, one question first.
Okay. Actually, if this kind of thing happened to me, I just change a sleeping place. If this kind of thing happened to me, I will change the place. So one more thing is, sometimes we don't need to kill. We just chase them out. They will leave. After that, we can sleep normally. It can happen everywhere, not only in your area, it also can be in my area. Everywhere it can happen, right? The main thing is you can chase out. You can change the place. It's okay. You have to suffer for sometimes, for a short time. After that, you will become skillful how to chase them out. Okay? And next one.
Second question. Sorry, just now I have not finished. Second question. In his working unit, there are canteen that offer, that prepare meats. So if someone take meats, would that means agree of Panadipada and commits this Panadipada? So agreeing on taking meats.
Okay. Taking meats, okay, it depends. Okay, for example, in the very beginning, what is it? In the very beginning of the question?
There are meats. There are meats being prepared in the canteen. Canteen.
In the canteen.
Yeah,
in the
canteen.
university, something like that. Okay,
so if
canteen.
he take meats, would that cause he's committing Panadipada by agreeing on this Panadipada?
Okay, this kind of thing is a little bit easier to answer, right? As long as they don't kill for you, it doesn't matter. For example, there's some restaurants, you can order right on the spot. You can show which fish you wish to eat, which chicken you wish to eat. You can show on the spot, and they will kill, and they will cook for you, or they will fry for you, or something like that. If like this, that means it's Panadipada. Sometimes in the restaurant or in the canteen, and they will prepare the foods for everybody. You just go there by accident. You just take the foods, have foods. You don't order, right? Sometimes pre-order or order. This is the problem. Then if you order or if pre-order, then they will keep for you. Then it will be Panadipada. Okay? This one.
Namisiado, for Charita Sila, does Charita Sila include these 5 types of Samvara Sila?
Okay. So Samvara Sila is just for abstinence, right? So, okay, for example, like a restraint by wisdom, for example, wisdom, right? Wisdom, we have to reflect when we are going to eat. It's our responsibility. Then this is also called Charita Sila. Restraint by impatience. We must be patient when they're not doing. This also can be Varita, right? Therefore, restraint by energy. In the sense of energy, sure. Then we have four types. 4 types means the first one is Samvara restraints. We must avoid doing bad things. Another one is Pahana. If we have habit of doing bad things, we must try to overcome it. We must try to solve it. Another is to develop good qualities. We must make efforts. Then finally, we must maintain good quality or good things, or by energy. So in the sense of energy, it covers both Charita and Varita. Okay?
Namisiado, in the monastery, there are this banana tree who has no owner, wild banana tree, and also kuti that has no occupants, nobody stay. They have banana trees around. So this banana, can we pluck it and eat? And if we pluck it for ourselves, would that commit adina dana?
If there's no owner, if it does not belong to the monastery, then we're going to say this is the stealing. It just belongs to the monastery. Then we have to consider, right?
If someone commits heavy offense, for example, killing human being, if someone kill 2 times, this 2 time killing not in the same life, according to this person, and this type of killing karma can become the Pakatu Upanisaya for that being, so that in future life he will have the inclination to continue Panadibada. This type of saying, is that correct?
We cannot say like that, right? The Panadibada, because of past life killing, we wish to kill this life. I mean, not only animal, not only human being, we also kill many animals in this very life, right? Because that means it's a long time Pakatu Upanisaya, not only 2 times killing, right? So in this case, if we talk about Pakatu Upanisaya, it should be long time, not 2 times killing. Okay? And this one?
In the PowerPoint that's shown by Seado, like, if someone takes screenshots of Seado's PP PowerPoint to review, not Seado, or any PowerPoint from the, if someone takes screenshot of the PowerPoint to review after the class, would they commit adinadana?
Okay, so the same question also come, right? It was an intention. You have intention to review, right? If you have bad intention to destroy or to distract something like that, then there will be adinadana. If you have good intention just for review, although you don't publish the books, right? It cannot. Okay, I have to remind everybody here one more time. As long as it's not very harmful for the owner, not harmful for yourself, we cannot say this is the problem. For example, some scholar, they may use PowerPoint, then it's for their own business. If we try to publish their books, or if we just copy and publish their books, it will be harmful for their earning. In this case, is the problem. What about free distribution? As long as you don't destroy the Dhamma, it doesn't matter. Okay? The main thing is you must have intention to review. No intention to steal is okay. Next one.
If someone have picked up money from the roadside, for example, $5 or $100, and after that no one come and claim it, then he will use it by himself. Would that and this type of what type of behavior is that?
Okay, so that means after a long time, it's also not that valuable, right? Then after a long time, if nobody comes and they take it, okay, you use, this is called Passcode. In Bali, we call Passcode, right? The perception of Passcode. Okay. Now maybe next time I have to review Adinadana again, right? Then at the time I have to explain even more in detail. Okay.
Next question. Dear Sayadaw, Vandami Sayadaw, would Sayadaw please explain one more time about Parikappa Vaharo? And does destructing others' properties also included as Adinadana? Like Sayadaw gave example before about the broken one's clay pot. Thank you very much, Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Actually, okay. Later I have to explain all the stealing, okay? Next I have to repeat all the things. They are Parikappa Vahara will be clearer. Okay? Parikappa Vahara. Okay, for example here, we have the first one is Okay. I should check again. Prikabhawa is like a concealing, right? Concealing. Sorry? Okay. Okay, one more thing. Okay, I have to
By
say
strategy.
Okay,
By strategy.
I have to say it easily, right? Easier way. Concealing, right?
No,
So-
Sayadaw, by strategy.
Okay, strategy,
by-
okay.
Yeah.
Strategy, okay. So that means, okay, now easier way to understand. Then a man will plans to steal. Okay, in one place there are some people. They also check when they come, when they go, when there's nobody in the house. Then he will wait inside the house. If his opportunity, he will steal, right? Then they have some good relationship with the owner. Then he was to get a telephone, for example. He's going to steal a telephone. He was trying to hold the telephone and try to see it. If owner cannot see him, he will steal. If owner asks him, why? What are you doing? I'm seeing your telephone. It's very nice, something like that. You may say something other, right? So that kind of thing is also called Parikabhavahara. Okay?
Vandami Sayadaw, for someone who has done abortion, but when she did abortion, he doesn't know or she doesn't understand that this embryo has life. So at that time doesn't have the mind of killing. So would they consider Panadibada?
So you have to check 5 factors, right? Actually, I have already given all the information. Check 5 things. Living beings, you also have possession of living beings, intention to kill, you make actions, living being done. 5 factors. Just check with the 5 factors. If no more, if one of them is no there, we're gonna say it's a killing. Okay? So just trying to check what's 5 factors is easier to understand. Next one.
Okay, next question. Vandami Sayadaw, good evening. Please Sayadaw advise how to purify this action. I reported to the fire department to remove the wasp's nest in the corner of the roof of our home. Is this against the precepts? Have result or no this action? With sincerely, Jnana Dhammiko. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Perhaps next.
Yeah, like
Nest,
a
yeah?
bee's, yeah, wasp nest, yes.
Wasp nest. Okay, and it's a wasp nest. Actually, removing wasp nest is not killing. Just changing other, you just make other people homeless, right? Right? Because this is just normal everywhere. Okay, anything?
Vandami Sayadaw, in his house, he catch a cockroach and put it outside. But outside the house is very cold. It is lower than 10 degrees. Although he doesn't have the mind of killing, but would this action consider killing?
Okay. And are there many people ask the same question, right? Is the killing? Okay. I have a set 5 factors. Check 5 factors. Okay. If you have intention to kill, it's a killing. If you don't have intention to killing, we cannot say it's a killing. Right? So I have a set. It's just making other living beings homeless. Okay. Then next one.
Vandami Sayadaw, in his workings units, there are paper who have been printed with sutta, the Buddhist sutta. Oh no, sorry. He used the working units paper to print the sutta, maybe for herself. Would they consider adinadana? And if he replaced the paper then would he commit the same precept or not?
Okay, so here.
Then after printing, using the working units paper to print sutta, what should he do with this sutta?
Okay, so here one more thing we have to, actually I have to explain anything about Adinadana. So, okay, we have to talk about Parajika, okay, Bhikkhu Parajika. In the Bhikkhu Parajika, if somebody is very close to us, for example, like I will use my parents' telephone, they will not get angry. Right? They will not say don't use. If we have that kind of relationship, we're going to say it's a stealing. So sometimes our friends, we are very close friends, although we use their property, they never complain or they never say no. Or when they use our property also, we don't say no. We have very good relationship, for example. If that kind of case, we call Vesasakaha. It's not stealing. Okay, so I mean, everybody use that kind of paper. So all the steps, all the working teams can use all the paper, for example. Then you also use. You also one of them who used this. If like this, we're gonna say stealing. If owner didn't allow to use the one for other purpose, just for only office, then you're gonna use it's called stealing. Okay, so there are many other things we have to consider. Maybe later I have to re-edit everything. I have to send more information about Adinadana. Okay, next one.
Under Misiado, purposely someone destroy others' things, would they consider Adinadana?
Sure, this is Adinadana, sure. Yeah, next one.
Under Misiado, if someone 长期冰修的同时在人世 or if someone have a colleagues, working teammates who has been sick for a long time and takes leave for a long time, then the human resource department need to evaluate this team member, so he give more supports, more goods, good information about these teammates, and not mentioning about his leave or not coming for work. So would that consider musawada?
Sure. If we say something untrue, it's musawada. Right? Absent as present is absent, right? Say like that, right? We can say this is musawada.
Siado, this question regarding every Buddha when they come to the world, there will be many beings who attain Nibbana. So would that be possible one day all the beings will enter into Nibbana?
Actually, there are also many new living beings, right? They started new life. We cannot say empty or loga. Right? Now, you may have seen there are some living beings. There are living beings have like a plant or something like that. You may have seen many things like that, right? This is very beginning of life. Later, it becomes real life. So that is why it cannot be. Many things, right? Many things like that happen. That's why. Empty or what is it? Almost impossible, right? Look at that?
Yeah. And then he said the next portion is would there be Nibbana with beings? And if the world without beings, would the universe create new beings so that the universe will maintain the balance of beings?
Okay, so that's what only theory, right? Okay, then next one.
Okay, the next question. Dear Sayadaw, after taking 8 precepts, if I eat for 1 hour in the evening and take the 8 precepts again right after eating, is the 8 precept broken for 1 hour only, or the whole day prior the meal is broken? What is the consequences for that habit?
Actually, if we have already undertaken the precepts, we should not eat. Actually, later in the Visuddhimagga, it will mention, Kala Priyanta, Kala Apriyanta. Also, that means limiting the time or unlimited the time. This is one thing. Then we also have another part of in Visuddhimagga, it will mention later. So the main thing is, if we like a determination 2 times, right? 1 time you fail, then you determine second time. If you fail second time, you will determine third time. So similarly now, the first part you determine to observe 8 precepts, then you fail. After that, you restart determination. Then okay, you can be successful. Okay, it doesn't matter. The maintenance is not really really good for not really good habits. Okay, this is also breaking precepts. Okay.
Yes, sẽ đó. Vanami sẽ đó. Làm cách nào để quân bình ngũ quyền một cách thuần thục? This question sẽ đó. How to balance the 5 faculties sẽ đó? Yes. 5 India. The question maybe not so be related. Yeah.
Okay. Among the 5 controlling faculties, we have 2 groups. The first group is Saddha and Panya. Sometimes our Saddha is very powerful. We have very strong faith. And this is from Vietnamese, right? Vietnamese have very strong faith. Be careful. Then another one is like a wisdom. So if faith becomes very strong, wisdom becomes very weak, then we will misbelieve many things. It will mislead us to believe many, many wrong things. Sometimes our wisdom becomes very powerful. We don't have faith or confidence, saddha. Now we may have more wicked mind. So another one is the concentration and virya, efforts. So if we have very strong efforts, we may have more restlessness. We cannot concentrate well. Sometimes if we have very strong concentrations, it becomes very calm and quiet. Then when we have realization, we will fall to the Bodhi states, like unconscious states. So the key player is mindfulness. So if we have a lot of analyzing, a lot of investigation, because of our wisdom, we analyze more and more. When we have more doubts, we will not believe. If we have a lot of doubt, don't analyze unnecessary things. Sometimes you have very strong confidence, right? Then you will do many things with your confidence. But you have very weak wisdom, then you will make many, many mistakes. That's why we have to balance everything. So similarly, Sila, concentration and efforts. When we have very strong concentration, weak efforts, we may fall into Vanga state or we may fall asleep. If we have very strong efforts, weak concentrations, then we have more restlessness. We have to balance all these things. If we have a lot of restlessness, relax more. Don't make any efforts. If we fall into Vanga state, or if we feel like unconscious states or no objects, then you have to make effort at the time. So you must be aware of yourself. What happened to you? Then you can balance well. Okay. Next one.
Vandami Sayadaw, if someone cry at that moment, is there dosa mai? And basically, what type of dosa mai for crying? For example, if someone watch a movie and there is if there is an orphan who has been very kind and very grateful to others, because of seeing this good behavior in the movie, he cried. So would they consider dosa?
So in this case, we cannot say dosa. Okay, we can say like a worry maybe, right? Sometimes because of happiness or joy also can be. So, okay, if you worry about somebody, this is also called dosa. Or if you have some like a unhappy or displeasure when seeing something, this is also called dosa. In the case of crying, seeing good people, sometimes because of joy also you can cry, right? In this case, we cannot say it's ahosa. Okay? And this one?
Yes, sir. Dear sir, sir, if someone he commits offense, he commit apathy, and then he also know that is the break the precept, so he still intentionally break the precept. So because the result of this, he no respect disrespect to the Sila, the precept. For example, he's telling lie, and mặc dù một người đã xin giới rồi, even he already taking a precept, he understand this the value of the precept, and he purposely telling lie, break the precept, but he had no choice, had to do. The question here not clear, so I think he mean that. So what is he had to do that with no choice? So is that any karma, heavy karma for doing so? Said, yeah. The question not so clear.
Yes. No choice. This is also very difficult to say. No choice, right?
Yes. Yes.
The choice comes from ourselves. We can choose anything, right? So no choice. So that means, okay, one more thing. Sometimes if we tell the truth, it will be very harmful for the listeners, for example. Because a white lie. If the white lie is not very heavy akusala, because we have good intention. But anyway, it's a musawara, because this is untrue, right? We also know it's untrue. That's why it's a musawara. So in this case, white lie is okay. Now it doesn't mean good. If you do the same things knowingly or intentionally, it's not really very good. Although not very beneficial for the listeners. Don't do it. Okay?
In his working unit, his colleagues cannot avoid relates or associates with his colleagues. But his colleagues keep on using this parusavada and harm him. And even the leader of the unit cannot stop this behavior. How should he handle this situation?
Okay. So if we cannot avoid, we have to face it, right? One more thing is, if we can discuss, we can also discuss with him or with her. This is the part of discussion. This is the one thing. Another one is the mind. Okay, we might have the great intention. There's more metta toward that kind of person. If we have metta toward them, then their minds can change. So we have to think about it. Okay. So now, from your side, frequently ready metta. After that, trying to speak normally, associate with normally. Gradually, if we can persuade, okay, you can persuade, you can change that. If you're going to change, kamasaka, we're going to do anything. Right? More ubekha at that time. Etta vata ja amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe saddha numodandu Sabba Sampati Siddhiya Idam Me Nyadinam Hotu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Idam Me Nyadinam Hotu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Idam Me Nyadinam Hotu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Idame bunyam asawakaya waham hodu. Idame bunyam nibanasa patio hodu. Mama bunya bagam savasadanam bhajimi. Te sabbe me samam punya bagam lavandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.